Two households, both earning $75,000 a year. Same neighborhood, similar cars, comparable lifestyles. 20 years later, one has $1.2 million and retires early. The other has $180,000 in debt and can't stop working. That's not a story. That's Bureau of Labor Statistics data on households with identical income brackets. And here's what nobody explains. The difference wasn't discipline. It wasn't sacrifice. It wasn't even how much they spent. It was a single $800 decision they made every month, whether they knew it or not. Same amount of money. Opposite direction. Opposite mathematical machinery. Today, I'm showing you the exact mechanism that separates these futures. No budgeting lectures, no lifestyle shaming, just compound mathematics running in reverse. Let's see which side of the equation you're on. Here's what we're actually looking at. The median American household carries $155,000 in debt while holding $25,000 in liquid investments. They're simultaneously paying 18% APR on credit cards, while their savings account earns 0.5%. That's not financial illiteracy. That's a mathematical trap running in real time. And here's the part that should concern you. That spread compounds. A household directing $800 per month toward debt payments at 15% average interest will pay $285,000 over 20 years while building zero wealth. A household directing that same $800 toward investments at 8% returns will accumulate $568,000. Same income, same monthly amount. The only variable that changed was direction. Now, I know what you're expecting. Another video telling you to stop buying coffee and cancel subscriptions. That's not this. Because here's what the personal finance industry won't tell you. Compound interest doesn't care about your budget. It only cares about direction. The Wharton School tracking study found that households with identical incomes diverge by an average of $740,000 over 25 years, based solely on whether their discretionary cash flow exits through lenders or enters through investment accounts. That's the same exponential function, working for one family and against the other. Today, we're breaking down the machinery, not the morality, not the motivation, just the math. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which direction your money is compounding and what happens if you don't redirect it. So here's how this works. I'm going to show you two families, same salary, same monthly surplus, and we're going to watch their financial trajectories separate in real time. Pull up your own numbers if you want. This applies whether you're moving $200 a month or $2,000. The mechanism doesn't change. Let's get into it. Both families pull in $75,000 a year. After taxes and the basics, rent, utilities, food, insurance, getting around, they're left with $800 each month. Here's where things diverge. One family sends that money to lenders, car loans, credit cards, personal loans for whatever comes up. They see monthly payments as just how things work. The other family sends it to investment accounts. They wait, save cash, automate transfers. Same salary, same $800, different direction. And when compound math gets involved, direction becomes the only variable that actually matters. The family sending money to lenders looks normal on paper. Car loan at 7%, $650 a month for 5 years. Credit card sitting at $8,000, 18% interest. Medical bill they're chipping away at. Furniture they financed at 0%, except the promo expired and now it's 24%. Here's the part nobody explains. When you pay $650 on that car loan, maybe $200 goes to interest and $450 touches the actual debt. Early on, interest eats most of it. Over 5 years, that $35,000, car costs $39,000, and it's worth $18,000 by the time it's paid off. Over 20 years, this pattern repeats. 3 car loans, revolving credit card debt, personal loans for medical bills and emergencies, financed furniture and appliances. The interest alone adds up to $112,600. They also paid $172,000 in principal, but those assets? Gone, depreciated, consumed, replaced. At year 20, their net worth is negative $45,000. They still owe $60,000 across active loans, 2 decades of $800 monthly payments, $192,000 in total, cash out the door, and they're underwater. That's what happens when compound interest runs against you instead of for you. The other family sends that same $800 to investment accounts. Roth IRA gets $500 monthly. They put 6% into their 401 cord, about $375. But that comes out pre-tax, saving $75 on taxes. Net cost to their paycheck, $300. Add the $500 Roth, same $800 total, just opposite direction. Their employer matches half the 401k contribution free money. By year 5, they've contributed $48,000. Returns have added $11,200. By year 10, the account generates more annually than they're putting in. The math flipped. Now money makes money, and it compounds in their favor instead of the lenders. At year 20, they've put in $210,000 of their own money. Employer match added $45,000. Returns generated another $375,000. Total portfolio, $630,000. The other family, remember, is at negative $45,000 from the same monthly cash flow. That's a $675,000 separation from identical incomes and identical amounts. But here's what matters more. At year 20, this portfolio generates $52,000 annually just from returns, more than they ever contributed in a year. If they stop adding money entirely, it still grows to $6.8 million by retirement. The machine runs itself now. Watch the gap widen. Year 1, $14,780 apart. Year 5, $83,200. Year 10, $186,000. Year 20, $675,000 separation. Same income, same monthly amount, opposite directions. The gap doesn't grow in a straight line. It curves upward because both systems run on compound math. One compounds debt against you. One compounds returns for you. Family A paid $112,600 in interest, while their purchases depreciated. Family B earned $375,000 in returns on appreciating assets. By year 30, the gap hits $1.8 million. Year 40, it's $4.2 million. Direction determines everything. So what can you actually control? Interest rates matter. Dropping from 15% to 8% saves $180,000 over 20 years. But you're still paying, not earning. Payment acceleration helps extra $200 monthly cuts interest by 40%. But that same $200 invested generates $119,000 instead. On the investment side, bumping contributions from $800 to $1,000 adds $148,000. Increasing returns from 8% to 9% adds $67,000. Here's the asymmetry. Every 1% drop in borrowing saves $23,000. Every 1% gain in returns adds $67,000. Direction matters more than optimization. Real life complicates this. Not all debt is equal. A mortgage on an appreciating home at 4% works differently than a car loan at 7% on something losing value. Student debt at 5% that boosts lifetime earnings can pencil out. But credit cards at 18% for consumption? Pure loss. Here's the math on investing versus debt payoff. Anything above 8% interest gets eliminated first. Below that, you can pay minimums and invest simultaneously. A $15,000 emergency fund at 4% beats $15,000 in credit card debt at 15% by $2,850 annually. Timeline matters too. Over 20 years, markets trend up despite volatility. Push out to year 30. Family A, now 55, still carries $35,000 in debt. Retirement accounts sit around $85,000. Net worth maybe $170,000. Still working because they have to. Family B hits $1.4 million in investments. Zero debt. House paid off. Work became optional 10 years ago. Gap, $1.63 million. Year 40. Family A finally clears their debt at 65. Retirement savings reached $340,000. Total net worth around $620,000. Modest retirement. Tight margins. Family B stopped contributing at year 30 and just let it grow. Accounts hit $2.8 million. Net worth over $3.3 million. Annual investment income alone, $230,000. Gap, $2.68 million. Same starting income. The divergence keeps accelerating.